Welcome to my 1 Minute to Wow video tutorial. This is Mary Fish with Stampin' Pretty and StampinPretty.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and you can shop for Stampin' Up! Products on my blog, as well as get daily paper crafting ideas, samples, and the latest promotions on Stampin' Up! Products. I recently shared these awesome neutral tags that are simple to create using Stampin' Up! Products for the holidays. But you could very easily, if you prefer not to do neutrals, which of course I love because I feel like they're trending beautifully right now, but you could certainly switch things over to reds and greens for more traditional holiday. Blue and white would be beautiful for many other winter holidays, or navy and white. You could certainly switch it over to a range of pinks or blues for baby showers. Very, very versatile. It's really a classic layout that you can have some fun with. And I used, for all of them, the Stampin' Up! Merry Little Labels stamp set. It is very friendly for the holidays for tag making, and there's also a for and a from and a just for you. A little bit more versatile, as well as no peeking. You could even use markers and isolate just the for and the from and eliminate the holly. So just some ideas to get you a little more mileage. So I have a couple personal favorites out of these. I absolutely love this one, and we'll be making this one as well. And then this Let It Snow. I think this one in particular shows off how I use the rhinestones on actually all of these to give a little extra bling and personality, but it looks so fun kind of among those stars in this silhouetted background, especially when using black as one of my contrasts. So let's get started. Another very cool thing about the Merry Little Label stamp set is that it coordinates with one of the punches that was released in the holiday catalog. It's called the Everyday Label Punch. It coordinates, as you can see, the boundaries of these. It coordinates with that border as well as crops these. But again, there are so many different stamps and sentiments that you could use that would fit within this space, either this direction or that direction. When you purchase this punch with the stamp set, you save 10% when you purchase it as a bundle. So I pre-stamped just for you. And this time I'm going to do it on very vanilla, so we're just at least a little different. And then I'm going to line it up, okay, kind of side to side, top to bottom. I'm going to wiggle it around. It's a little trickier when I'm doing it on an angle, but we can do it. And give it a crop. And I'll set that aside. And then I also, for the little black bunch of leaves, I used the leaf punch, and I just cropped some basic black cardstock. Really, really simple. So that's all the punching. I love punches. How about you? And then I used a die set called Celebration Thinlits dies. I feel this is one of the sleeper items in the Stampin' Up! 2017 to 2018 annual catalog. It is brilliant for making pretty tags, and I use this one for the solid tag piece, and then there's this perfect detailed overlay. So let's get to work. I already pre-cut a piece of crumb cake with the solid, and then I'm going to also pre-cut, this is soft suede, the next layer with my Big Shot, and it's going to look really big on this. I'm going to layer this over this. There we go. And I am looking for my cutting plate. Here it is. Hooray! So you can see I started with the magnetic platform, and then I've got an acrylic plate, then I've got the cardstock, and then I have the die face down with the groove face down, and then an acrylic plate on top. And solid images are usually pretty cooperative. They crop almost perfectly with one pass through. You don't have to use a magnetic platform either. I just like it, especially when I'm using larger pieces of cardstock, for making sure that the die stays in place on its trip through, and you use a little less cardstock that way. And now I'm going to build the exact same. I'm going to use a piece of basic black. I'm going to use this more detailed die. Put a cutting plate on top. And because there's a little more detail, I find I have the best results if I run it through once, let it click. Okay, that means it's gone through, and then bring it on back. The reason I don't let it go all the way through is I'm trying to minimize any movement that might occur. And then I'm going to get out my bristle brush, although often this will take everything all out at once, but let's just see. Oh, it did. It's perfect. Normally, this would still be in the die or some of the detailed dies, and you can use the bristle brush. The little bristles go into these holes and help pop out all those little bits. But this is probably going to come out pretty easily. Actually, I can use the bristle brush just a tiny bit, just to loosen those bits. And then we should be able to get those out. Oh, this one's got just a little lack of cooperation, but it's going to be just fine. And so that's the overlay. So I'm going to use a little bit of multi-purpose glue. And you don't need a ton because we're going to be using some Stampin' Dimensionals to add the sentiment tag. And that's going to help keep this in place. This is just kind of to help line it up for the time being. So this is multi-purpose glue. You could use a wee bit of snail on these corners as well. The other nice thing about not gluing the whole thing up is that I can pick it up and I'm not going to get glue on me, okay, because there's no glue right here. And then I'm going to layer that over the soft suede layer and just pat that down. Now you can flip it over and I can see I'm off just a wee bit and it's a little forgiving, so I still have time just to shift that just ever so slightly and get it perfect, which is what I try for. I got a little, that's going to get buried behind, but normally I would take a paper piercing tool and just tidy that up, either tuck it underneath or clean it up with the paper piercing tool. So we're coming along just beautifully. I am going to bring back our sentiment and the leaf that we cropped. Now you could use a bone folder. I'm just going to use my fingers to give it just a little bit of dimension, holding it down. And then I'm going to use, again, another just little bit of the multi-purpose glue. Set that aside and add it to the back side of this. Keep it in place. Hold it for a second. Then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals because I love how it pops up and off of this layer. So first dimensional right here, that's called my insurance policy, to keep that little guy in place. You can always go like this to help pop them up. Nail. And then we can layer this right on top. And then of course we need a little bling, don't we? 'Tis the season for lots of bling. So you could use pearls. Our pearls are beautiful. They're self-adhesive. Our black rhinestones, but I just happen to be a big fan of these little rhinestones. Just the clear guys. And I just gave it some personality. Each one of these tags has sort of a neat spot to add these. And I like using my snips because it just kind of helps me so I can see where it's supposed to go and then put it in place. Oh, I've got a little fuzzy right there. I'll get that out of there later. I'm sure you've all experienced that. Oh, just let me show you again. These, see how the rhinestones were here? I put 3 on this one. This is the same one that we're doing. I just added to the leaf punch. This is a perfect spot to go with the holly. And this has little dots above at the top and the bottom. I thought those were just really great spots to add that. And then we're going to do just a really simple little ribbon treatment to finish things up. I am going to use some Very Vanilla solid baker's twine. And I'm going, you probably don't need quite this much to be perfectly honest, but when I'm doing a demonstration and I'm doing this at an angle, I need a little extra to make sure I can see it okay. So, and then I've got some linen thread. So I'm folding both in half, okay? and I'm going to tuck them through the back side of both of these. Hopefully. Come on. Let me just twist a little, see if that will help me. Okay, so that's gone through. So now I'm going to find each loop. Okay, so this loop's easy. This one's a little bit trickier, but I have that loop as well. See how I have that? Then I'm going to bring these through. Okay, so that's going to give that nice, neat, and tidy knot when I pull. See how cute that is? It just creates that cute little knot. So I hope you learned something today. I think these are just great tags. If you have any questions or comments, I treasure them. You can leave them on YouTube and I'll respond promptly, usually within 24 hours, often within a couple minutes. So here's the one that I created before. Here are the additional ones. And as I said, you can do neutrals. You can change it up to traditional colors. Just have fun with it. Stop by my blog, stampinpretty.com. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel to be the first to receive my new videos as they are published and public. And then stop by my blog and subscribe to, I have a monthly newsletter with special promotions as well as daily blog updates, and you can subscribe to my blog. So I hope you learned a little something new today. Leave me a comment or a question. I would love to help you. Thanks so much, and bye-bye.